Hello everyone, I'm going to show you how to set up a local WordPress testing site for Windows using XAMPP server. But before everything, let's ask an important question. What are the benefits of a WordPress testing site? There are plenty of reasons to use a local WordPress testing site for Windows, some of which are: first, using a local testing site helps you to root out compatibility issues between your themes, plugins, and WordPress core before they reach your live site. You can easily create a copy of your site, host it locally, do a test run, and migrate it back once you're done. The same principle applies for testing any other themes or plugins. The second is, local testing sites are perfect for web developers or designers who want to keep their work private until they reach specific milestones. You save on hosting costs and eliminate the risk of clients running off your work. And the third is, you like tinkering with WordPress related stuff, as do we. There are 5 steps to get up and running with your own local WordPress testing site for Windows. Let's get cracking. Step 1. Download and install XAMPP on your computer. Step 2. Start the modules and test your server. Step 3. Add the WordPress file. Step 4. Create a database for WordPress. And the last step, step 5. Install WordPress locally via the on-screen installer. The first step on your way to install WordPress locally is to download and install the XAMPP software. You can download the Windows installer file from apachefriends.org. It's a big file, about 155 megabytes, so it might take a minute or so depending on your connection. Once the download finishes, run the file you downloaded to launch the XAMPP installer. If you are running antivirus software, you might get a warning like this. Just click yes to continue. Depending on your Windows configuration, you might also get a prompt about user account control, UAC. Just continue through that prompt as well. Once you get through all the prompts, you should see the standard installer screen. Just click next to continue. On the next screen, you can choose which components to install. To install XAMPP and WordPress, you do not need all of the components. In addition to the required components, all you need are MySQL and phpmyadmin. Again, this is all that's needed to install WordPress locally. Uncheck everything else and click next. You can now select which folder to install XAMPP in. I always leave it as the default. On the next screen, you'll get a prompt asking you to install Bitnami for XAMPP. You do not need this to install XAMPP and WordPress, so just uncheck the box. Once you click next, you're ready to run the install. The install process might take a few minutes. Once it finishes, you can launch the control panel to start working with XAMPP. Step 2. Start the modules and test your server. To install XAMPP and WordPress properly, you'll need to run 2 modules, Apache and MySQL. You can start both modules from the XAMPP control panel. Once you launch them, you should see their status turn to green. And now, you should be able to test that your local server is working by going to address http localhost in your web browser of choice. If all went well, you now have a functioning XAMPP server on your Windows PC. But now it's time to install XAMPP and WordPress. Step 3. Add the WordPress files. If you've ever manually installed WordPress, The rest of the process should feel pretty familiar. First, you need to go to wordpress.org and download latest version of WordPress. Then, in Windows, navigate to the folder where you installed XAMPP. For me, that's drive C/XAMPP. It should be something similar for you. Then, in that folder, find the htdocs subfolder. In htdocs, create a new folder for your test site. This folder name will become the subname used to access your site. For example, if you make the folder test site, you'll access your site by going to http://localhost/test site. Once you create the folder, extract the WordPress zip file you downloaded from the wordpress.org into it. Step 4. Create a database for WordPress. Next, you need to create a MySQL database for your WordPress install. To do that, launch phpmyadmin from your XAMPP control panel. Then, click on Database at the top. And enter a name for your database and click Create. Your name can be anything. Just remember it, because you'll need it for the next step. Unlike installing WordPress on a live web server, when you install XAMPP and WordPress, you don't need to worry about creating a database user. Step 5. Install WordPress locally via the on-screen installer. You should see the normal WordPress installer. Remember, your test site is just http://localhost/folder name. The only step where this process will differ from a normal install is the database details. When you get to the database details, enter them like this. For database name, just enter the name of the database you created in phpmyadmin. For username, just insert root, and for password, leave blank. Then finish the rest of the WordPress install process like normal. Once you complete the process, you should see your brand new WordPress install running perfectly on your local host. So, if you need any assistance with XAMPP and WordPress, leave a comment and I'll try to help out. I hope this tutorial be useful for you. Just remember to subscribe my channel. Thanks so much.